Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives, I guess, and you just lost the game. Sucker. But, yesterday we did a live stream, and because I can't carry this and give it a fair review because I had to take it apart and do so much work on it to get it working right, we did Cardboard Slayer on it. And that was an interesting experience. So let's take a look at what we got here. And this is one of the Ozark Trail knives from holiday 2023. They don't sell them anymore as far as I know. They just sold them out over the holidays and that was it. But you got a pocket clip. It's tip up, which is the Lord's carry. This one is reversible. You've got a flipper tab and you've got an axis lock. Let's flick the bean. And you got like a nice little drop point blade. Like the blade profile and shape are pretty good in my opinion. And you got polypropylene scales, which this is the only place I've seen those. But one of the problems that we had is the channel that the axis lock rides in between the flipper tab and the body of the knife was not handled properly before it left the factory. There was a lot of irregular shapes in there, so if you pulled the axis lock and went to open it, it would stop right about here. Like, there's still a little bit of resistance there now, but I've taken it apart and hit it with the grinder 3 separate times now and gotten it to where it can do this. And, you know, I saw a bunch of guys doing reviews on YouTube of this thing, and all I did was take it out of the box, hit the flipper tab, and then close it like this about 4 times, and then say, yeah, this is great, give it to your friends. And they didn't really play with it enough to find out that it had this problem, so I was getting all these reviews that it didn't deserve, and, you know, I made mention of it on every single video I saw. One video, I can't remember who it was, actually said, oh yeah, I see that problem now, thanks for pointing it out. One out of all the ones I saw. So I hate it when guys do this. It's the same thing with Temu. That's part of why Temugeddon happened. You know, guys would get their Temu haul and they'd open it and they'd flip the knife open and close 3 or 4 times and go, yeah, this thing is great. Give it to your friends. And yeah, that's not how Temu knives work. But we did Cardboard Slayer on this. Let's flick the bean. And we did 2.5 hours of pushing it through cardboard. And I'm not going to lie, I thought the blade steel would hold up better than it did. After the first hour of really pushing it, it wound up having to be stropped back to life because it just gave up the ghost and was not doing clean cuts on copy paper anymore. It's a lot softer than expected. And of course, these guys don't tell you what the blade steel is on the box or anywhere else. Like, this is mystery steel. So, like, maybe they found some 1CR4 MOV somewhere and decided to use that. Like, we don't know what this is, but this is the softest steel I've done Cardboard Slayer with so far. Now, on the other side of that, it's stropped back up to life, no time flat, and it picked up a very, very shiny, almost mirrored edge. So if I kept playing with a strop for a while longer, it would probably be back to factory sharp because the steel is soft. This is probably the first thing that I've carried where it might actually dull out enough through regular use for me to have to sharpen it fairly soon after I start using it. You know, I'm a little surprised because we've had 3CR13 take 3 hours of those cuts before it had to be stropped back to life. You know, it's weird. I mean, it's a $5 knife, all right? Now, for this one, the only problem I have with it even at $5 is I had to take this apart and put a lot of work into getting it working right. I am sorry, but anything you release, even at $5, needs to work properly out of the box. You know, I find if I have to take the knife apart to work on it, out of the box, it's unacceptable. I do not tolerate that. And, you know, I went through this one and did this with it because I wanted to learn a little bit about how these things work. I didn't learn much because I couldn't get it all the way apart, which was a nightmare. But, you know, that's besides the besides. Let's see what it's like after hitting it with a strop a couple times. I did not strop this yet again before I started the video. This is just off the strop after the live stream. So like, it's dropped back up pretty nicely, and it took no time to get this kind of an edge on it. You know, it did a good job off of the strop, but it stropped up so fast because the steel is really soft. You know, this is like as soft as the old 440 that I was complaining about. And honestly, the old 440 on this one, it's either 440 or 420, but this one held up a bit better than this one. And that shocked me a little bit. You know, it's not really a huge complaint because, again, $5 knife, it's just I really expected the steel to hold up a little bit better, you know. after these 3CR blades and some of the stuff that's on the super low end, you know, you'd think this stuff would be heat treated like the rest of it, where it's got a good heat treatment out of the box and a good heat treatment from, you know, the supplier they bought it from, but no. Someone in the comments on the live stream ventured a guess as to what it was. It was like 420J something. But yeah, we don't know what it is. We just know it's soft. So I wanted to share that. You know, I haven't seen anybody else push one of these Ozark Trail knives through something like that to see how the edge held up. So I figured that'd be interesting to do. And because I can't carry it and give it a fair review because I had to do so much work on it, you know, we found a use for it. You know, if it worked right out of the box, I'd say I really like this for $5, but I like it now that I fixed it. You know, I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed, you know, looking at the channel in there and working on that. Like, doing the work was fun, but you shouldn't have to do that out of the box. So that's what happened with the cardboard slayer. This took about a third of the amount of time to wear down that much as everything else we tried so far, just about. You know, it handled it worse than 3CR. So, yeah, I found that interesting. Hopefully you found it interesting to learn a little about it. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are still coming in. I am so grateful and I'm so humbled by it. I love you. I love that you guys are doing this. Comments. I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing or anything else. All that being said, y'all have a nice day.